Tuesday already, and it is your second lesson of the week for English Year 4 on the 2nd of February. And well done for yesterday's English. Absolutely incredible descriptions of your favourite foods for the menus. Really impressed reading those. Looking forward to your paper packs because they are coming in to the school. So as soon as they are back into the school, then I will be able to collect them and have a look at your lovely learning. So keep them coming in if you can. And just really lovely language work that you created yesterday to make Mr. Steer feel very hungry. And I hope I didn't make you too hungry either. So today we're going to look at turning negative language into positive language to improve the atmosphere of somewhere. So the atmosphere of something means like when you walk into a room, how do you feel? So if you walked into a spooky sort of dark room, you would feel quite anxious and nervous and a bit scared. And authors in books and often in the films as well often try to create atmosphere by using like lots of descriptive language in their in the books, and then in the films they might like make the lighting different. So if you were in a really happy place, it might be really bright, and there might be lots of happy music playing. But in a scary part of a movie, there might be like no music at all, or it might be like really creepy music as the character is walking around. So you've got to think about that when you're doing your writing today. So we're going to turn a negative to a positive. So we're going to use our positive adjectives again today to make something sound better. Okay, so below is a description from chapter 5, which was Diagon Alley, of the shop Harry buys his wand from. So this is the shop Harry buys his wand from. Hopefully you remember the name of that shop is called Ollivanders, and it was started selling the wands from 382 BC. So we're going to read a description from the book and the exact words that J.K. Rowling used. But what we're going to do is we're going to read it, and first of all we're going to use this colour key below. So we're going to circle, underline or shade if you want, if you're doing this on paper, at least 5 of each word type. So we're going to read the extract and then decide of the words that we're reading, which of them are adjectives, and if they're an adjective, a descriptive word, then we're going to underline them or circle them in red. If they're a verb, so an action word, we're going to circle them in blue. And if they're a noun, so people, places or things, then we're going to circle them in green. Okay. But because it was tricky for me to do that when I was creating this resource, I've coloured them in, but I wouldn't need to circle them or underline them for me if you can. So I'm going to read the extract, and then what I want you to do is just as I have already for you. If you see an adjective, then we're going to circle or underline it in red. If we see a noun, we're going to circle or underline it in green. If we see a verb, we're going to underline it or circle it in blue. Okay, so let's read this out, and then I'm going to leave you to do that. The last shop was narrow and shabby. Peeling gold letters over the door read, Ollivanders, makers of fine wands since 382 BC. A single wand lay on a faded purple cushion in a dusty window. A tinkling bell rang somewhere in the depths of the shop as they stepped inside. It was a tiny place, empty except for a single spindly chair which Hagrid sat on to wait. Harry felt strangely as though he had entered a very strict library. He swallowed up a lot of new questions which had just occurred to him, and looked instead at the thousands of narrow boxes piled neatly right to the ceiling. For some reason, the back of his neck prickled. The very dust and silence in here seemed to tingle with some secret magic. Okay, so we've read that lovely descriptive paragraph from J.K. Rowling about Ollivanders. What we're going to do now is we're going to read through it again, and remember we're going to circle at least 5 adjectives, descriptive words, in red, circle or underline any action words, verbs in blue, and circle, underline any nouns, people, places, or things in green. Okay, so I'm just going to model that one more time. So shabby is a adjective, it's describing, so I'm going to circle that. Okay, you have to be really accurate. So underlining is actually probably easier. So I've done another adjective here. I'm going to do a verb. So a verb is a doing word. So lay. Rang is also a doing word. So I'm going to circle that. And then noun, so another thing. Let's go for letters, because they are a thing. And they're not the letters that you post, they are letters of the alphabet, okay? There's lots of nouns here, so you could easily do 5, probably in the first couple of sentences, okay? So, have a go. Try and do 5 at least, but I reckon you can do probably at least 10 adjectives and nouns easily. Verbs, probably 10 again, but at least 5. So pause the video, have a go. And then when you unpause, you'll see some more examples done by me here. Okay, welcome back. So as you can see, lots and lots of adjectives, lots and lots of verbs, at least 5 of each, and then nouns as well, lots. And as you can notice, next to each of the nouns, or very close to the nouns, there's always some adjectives, because we describe nouns with adjectives. So we find them very close to each other, almost side by side a lot of the time. Okay, so we've read that, the pretty negative description of the shop. It sounds not a very nice place, very old, shabby place. Okay, so here's activity 2. Rewrite the paragraph above to create a more positive atmosphere about the shop. To do this, change the adjectives and verbs if you want to. Okay, so if we read that again, the last shop wasn't narrow and shabby, so instead of having it as narrow and shabby, I've changed it to the last shop was wide and elegant. So we've made it really wide, and elegant means really sort of pretty looking, lots of nice decorations inside it, and a really sort of almost like posh shop to walk into. And instead of peeling gold letters, I think it was, peeling gold letters, I've changed it to bright gold letters over the door. Okay, so we've described the shop in a really positive way. It sounds like a really nice place to go into now. So I will do this sentence as well. A single wand lay on a faded purple cushion. So instead of that, I'm going to write on here, a brand new wand lay on a, and if we look back up again, lay on a faded purple cushion. Now faded means like it's been there for so long that the sun has sort of like made it like the colour go out of it. A brand new one lay on a bright new satin, and satin is like a really soft, smooth, well actually no, let's not go for satin, let's go for velvet. A bright new purple velvet cushion. And then it was next to, let me just go back, in a dusty window, in a recently cleaned window. Recently cleaned, I could do better than that, like a sparklingly clean window. So that makes it sound really, really nice and clean, like it's only just been washed, okay? So I'll just make that a bit bigger so you can read it properly. So hopefully that shows you what you can achieve just by changing a few of the words. You're not rewriting the whole thing, you're just rewriting some of the words and changing them. So change the adjectives, not the nouns. You just have to change these and rewrite them to make them sound really positive and a nice place to walk into. Okay, if you want to change the verbs, you can. So instead of stepped, maybe they sprinted because they were so excited to walk into the shop. They rushed, maybe. So you can use different words to make it sound really positive. Okay, so I've modelled it there to make it sound better. There's also that example there as well. So have a go at that. Looking forward to reading that. And then there is one final task below if you want to do the extension. So carry on listening if you want to do the extension task, the spicy challenge. If not, have a go at that. Pause the video now. Okay, so this is your spicy challenge. This is an optional task. You don't have to do it, but you can if you want to challenge yourself. So this time, describe Gringotts Bank using lots of negative adjectives to create a really horrible atmosphere. So if you have a look, there's some goblins here, but it's a really new, not new, really beautiful building full of gold and silver and chandeliers, like diamond chandeliers, pretty lights. But how could we turn and write some really negative words to make it seem like a really horrible bank to walk into? Maybe you could talk about, instead of sparkling gold coins, what words could you use to describe the coins? Maybe they've been in the bank for ages and they've gone a bit dirty and old. What words could we use to describe those coins? The doors that they used to open, how could we describe the doors of the bank? I want you to write it as if you were writing a bit of the story, so a descriptive paragraph. So let's insert that here. So let's go for Harry walked into Gringotts and shuddered. It was filthy. The floors looked, and then let's press enter, as if they had never been swept or mopped. There were dusty chandeliers, which are those really pretty sort of lights that hang often in really big houses. But yeah, they were dusty chandeliers. They're normally made of crystal or diamonds. That were missing. There were dusty chandeliers and stuff that were missing, that no longer worked, as all the candles had burnt out. Okay, so it's making it sound really like not a very nice place to walk into, and that's why Harry shuddered. He didn't want to be there. Okay, so you're really trying to think of some really negative language, and this is where you can be really creative and make it sound really horrible. Remember, it's the bank, so think of objects that might be there. Think of some words that we remember from that chapter. Have a go at that. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you come up with. So that's your challenge task. Have a go at that and think, what could we do to make the bank sound really nasty for Harry to walk into? Good luck with that. I'm really looking forward to seeing if you have a go at the spicy challenge and what you come up with. Okay, good luck. If you've got any questions, please give me an email or let me know on the problem page. Okay, take care, bye.